Hi everyone, I'm Catherine Weaver, and in this video I'm going to talk about one of the methods I use when I want to quickly warp my loom. I came up with this method one night during a bout of really bad insomnia, but it's something that I'm sure has occurred to many other people around the world at various points. This is a semi-continuous warping method. So we're going to thread multiple tablets all in one go with the warp threads and then add them to the loom, but it only really works for about 5 tablets at a time, so we would need to cut the yarn at that point, thread more tablets onto it, tie it back to the loose end we cut, then warp some more. And this method is great if you have 2 balls of yarn and you want to use them to make a warp without winding off separate balls from them. So I'm taking a tablet and I'm threading the yarn through the holes, and the yarn has to go in the same direction for both colours. And if I thread it through like this, this tablet is going to have 2 light threads and 2 dark threads next to each other, so it'll be suitable for weaving something like double face or finished diagonals. And I'll grab the next one. You can see these are quite elderly tablets. I've been using them for a number of years now. And this one I'm going to thread differently. I'm going to thread it in the opposite corners diagonally. And again, colours have to go through the tablet in the same direction as each other, or this won't work. So this time, instead of 2 parallel lines, I've got a cross shape. And this will be able to weave bands with 1 thread wide diagonal lines. I'll do the next one. And I think this one I will thread parallel again. And this is the part of the process that takes the most time and can be a little bit fiddly. So there we go. And I'll do a 4th one as well. You could also use a centre pull ball for this if you want the tablet to carry threads of only one colour. So take the outside strand from the ball and thread it through 1 pair of holes, and the inside strand and thread it through the other pair of holes. That's pretty useful if you want to have solid coloured selvages. Next, now that I've threaded all of my tablets, I'm going to tie a quick overhand knot. There we go. And I'll put that over one of the pegs on my loom. Now you don't need to use an inkle loom for this, like I am. You just need 2 fixed points. So that could be table legs, that could be the legs of a chair, that could be clamps, one on each end of a board or a table. It's entirely up to you and the furniture and equipment you have available to you. So the first thing is to shuffle these tablets along the thread a bit. And this is why I only use this for about 5 tablets at a time, because shuffling them along can get really irritating, especially if it's going to be a long warp. I'm just going to do this a very short warp here. So I've put the yarn over that peg, and then I grab both strands from the tablet, shuffle those tablets along a bit further, and then stick it over the other end, the other peg, and that tablet is now threaded, warped, and ready to go. So let's do its friends. So round this peg again, shuffle the tablets up a bit more. Now this time I've got 2 parallel threads instead of, oh no, I need to do the same. So again, I'll grab those threads there, stick it over that peg, shuffle these guys along a bit more. and I now have 2 tablets ready to go. So round that peg again, grab both threads from that cross, stick them over the end peg, and 1 tablet left. So around there, and grab these 2 threads, stick them over, and these 4 tablets are now fully threaded. Now at this point I would grab a binder clip and stick it over the peg to hold this thread in place, and then I would cut it, thread a whole load of more tablets on, and then retie these 2 ends, and then work backwards and forwards threading more tablets. If I turn this loom this way up, you can see we now have a group of tablets ready to go. Now having this loop here is really helpful if you want to attach the tablets to fishing swivels, so that you can untwist the built-up twist in the warp as you go, because each tablet has its own separate loop. Now these tablets might not be the right threading direction, so I would refer to my threading diagram and flip them if I need to, and if they're not in the correct starting position, like this one, I would turn until I get the D and A holes at the top of the tablet. And I'll do the same with the rest of them. Then I will weave maybe 8 or so picks or rows, just to check that I've got the tablets all threaded and aligned properly before I start weaving the final band. Right, so I hope that was helpful. Feel free to ask any questions, as this may be a little bit odd in terms of methods. It's not something you've come across before, so I am happy to answer any questions you have about it. Thank you for watching, and happy weaving!